Chapter 5. Destiny and Inevitability. Don't you think it's incredible? I was heading to school with Miyanoshita again the next day. This morning, she rang the chime and urged me, "Come on, let's hurry." I've already given up. What do you mean? Isn't it incredible that we met in an online game played by 30 million people worldwide, and now we've met in real life too? Now that you say it, there are about 1.5 million players in Japan. Even so, with multiple servers, those 1.5 million people are almost never in the same place. Some people even play on servers abroad. Amidst all this, Miyanoshita and I met. We played on the same server. We belonged to the same clan. And on top of that, we live close to each other in real life. How many coincidences must come together for something like this to happen? It's not just coincidence, it's fate. That sounds too dramatic. I believe in it. Or maybe it's better to say it was inevitable. Well, if you put it that way, I find myself grudgingly convinced. Otherwise, attributing it to mere coincidence seems far too improbable. Miyanoshita sure knows some difficult words, doesn't she? Boo! Aren't you treating me like a child? Sorry. Actually, she is an elementary school student. Girls her age don't like being treated like children. I don't like it either. So I sincerely apologized. Things like destiny and necessity might be incomprehensible when you delve into them, but I do think there was some kind of connection between us. Then, how about we tie a deeper bond? Specifically, let's get married. That's too deep of a connection, or rather, it's just not possible. I'm 17 and Miyanoshita is 10. It's not just a matter of ethics. The law won't allow it either. I might look like this, but I'm the type who's very devoted, you know? You are not the teasing type? I'll do anything for you. That includes naughty things, of course. Choke. I've heard that kids these days mature early, but Miyanoshita might just be the perfect example. Stop it, this could really turn into an incident. I'm not convinced. Why is it permissible for adults to be in relationships with age differences, but we, as children, cannot? I want to do all sorts of things for Yuki-san. I'll spoil you rotten with love and tenderness. I must refuse. Well, children are supposed to be safeguarded, aren't they? That's pretty condescending towards children, isn't it? Like saying, you can't even walk straight without someone to look after you. I get why that would make you mad, but in reality, that's how it is. I'm making mistakes on a daily basis. Sometimes the mistakes are quite significant, and realizing that is difficult. Without adults to protect and guide us, we'd easily stray off the path. Financially speaking, living on my own isn't viable. It's only possible because I'm being supported by adults. I do work part-time, but that alone isn't enough to cover my living and tuition fees. Without those financial lifelines, I'd shrivel up. But Yuki-san, with me, you'd happily veer off the path, right? Like an elopement for love, or even before that, a union of love. Don't call it a union. Also, stop it. Don't drag me into this. Psh, if I'm with the one I love, there's nothing scary, right? I don't love you, though. That's cruel. After we spent such an intense night together. We just played the game. You're married, aren't you? That was part of the game as well. You peeked at my underwear, didn't you? That was also... No, wait. That's definitely out of bounds, even in-game. Then you'll have to take responsibility. Sorry. But still. You're important to me as a friend, Miyanoshita. Yuki-san, I feel bad for seeming like I'm taking advantage of Miyanoshita's goodwill, but I'd be happy if we could keep being friends. Yes, of course. It's like starting off as friends, right? Then in about 6 months, we'll be lovers, and by next year, married. Again, like I said, that's impossible. I should try to be as positive as this. Foo. I'll make sure you fall for me, okay? Is it positivity or just sheer tenacity? By the way, Yuki, do you have time after school today? If you're free, would you like to hang out? I mean, in the real world. Ah, sorry. I've got a part-time job today. Oh, right. You're working part-time, aren't you? Where at? That's a secret. Well, if I tell you, you'll come visit, right? Of course. That's why it's a no-go. Eh. Miyanoshita puffed her cheeks in protest and started to look at me scornfully. I'll cry, you know? If you don't tell me, I'll cry right here and say that Yuki did something lewd to me. Hey, that's cheating. It just shows how serious I am. Fine, I get it. I was defeated. Not just elementary schoolers, but girls in general are strong in many ways. Men might never truly be able to match them, probably.